You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
What's up? It is Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I'm Kyle McMahon. It is episode 14, and today is our Captain Marvel episode. I have a very, very special guest on today. He is the host and face of comicbook.com. He's a Walking Dead and film insider, and he's a part-time actor and director. So let's give it up for Brandon Davis. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Yeah, thank you for having me. What an intro. Thank you for that.
Oh, please. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Who better for our Captain Marvel episode than you?
I can't think of anybody. You know? Just so extraordinarily humble that I cannot think of anybody else.
So what's up, man? What's going on with you?
Not much. I've seen Captain Marvel, I think, 3 times now. I just got back from Disney World. Disney had me out there for their Creator Days, which was awesome.
Nice.
And it's just a big month at comicbook.com. We have a lot going on with a lot of big movies coming out and different TV shows happening right now. So it's been fun. It's been crazy busy, but it's been fun.
You're going to see Shazam, right?
Tomorrow morning I take off to New York City. I am going to see Shazam. I'm doing a little surprise event that I can't spoil it just in case anybody who might be there is listening. But
right.
On Saturday night, we're doing something really cool that I'm happy to be a part of.
Awesome.
In New York with Shazam, and I've seen that movie, and I loved it. It's so good. That's going to be a lot of fun up there in New York.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing on Saturday. That'll be really cool.
Yeah, man, thank you. It's going to be, I think, there's people going to this thing. They don't know what's coming. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
That.
Well, let's get into what's out. What's out? All right. This week, Wonder Park is coming out, which that looks pretty cool. Have you seen the trailers for that?
I've seen the trailers for Wonder Park. I hear it's got like a lot of heart at the end. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard interesting things about it. People seem to be enjoying it. You know, the animated movies, you can never really go wrong, it seems like these days. Absolutely.
And then Captive State with John Goodman and Vera Farmiga. I can never pronounce her name. Farmiga?
Vera Farmiga, what a talented actress. And John Goodman, the two of them together. I mean, can you go wrong?
Exactly. Like, with either one of them, I would have seen it anyway, just because of how good they are. Together, this is like a must-see for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase, which is kind of I guess a reboot of the Nancy Drew franchise. This is produced by Ellen, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see her getting involved with films. But, yeah, I mean, everything right now is a remake or a reboot. And they sell a lot of tickets, so I'm sure it'll do well at the box office.
Absolutely. And then the other big one is 5 Feet Apart, which is directed by Justin Baldini, who is awesome. I'm actually really looking forward to this as well.
Yeah, this one, I don't know too much about this one.
It's about 2 people who have disabilities where they actually, for their own health, have to stay 5 feet apart from each other, but they kind of fall in love, I guess. So it looks pretty interesting.
That sounds really like a tough relationship to maintain. I'm not going to lie about it.
I've been told I have to stay 500 feet apart from a few people. So, and then music this week, I'm really looking. There's like no big albums or anything coming out, but there's a single, Black Bear's new single, Swear to God, which I'm really, really looking forward to.
I'm not gonna lie, I messed with the new Jonas Brothers.
Oh yes.
I'm not gonna lie about it.
I'm literally, what's it called? Sizzle? Shallow? No. Sucker, there you go. Yes. Yeah, it is awesome. The Jonas Brothers are awesome. And it's their first #1, which is great.
I've been listening to that song a little more than I'm ready to admit.
Hey, no judgment here. All right, let's get into what we consume this week. Okay, so I finally finished season 1 of Stranger Things. I'm a little bit behind. So
I feel like you need like a SpongeBob time-lapse slate here.
Exactly.
100 years later.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind, so I'm actually going to start season 2 this week. So then I'll be all caught up for July when the 3rd season comes out. Are you a fan of Stranger Things?
And I loved the first season. I started watching the 2nd season. I got about 6 episodes in, and I lost a little bit of interest, but everybody tells me I'm crazy, and then I have to finish it. So I think I'm going to have to get back on that train eventually. I think the first season was like, I don't know if I've ever been so immediately hooked to a show.
Yeah.
I saw why it became a phenomenon, and then season 2, I just kind of fell off. I'm terrible at keeping up with TV shows, though,
So am
unless
I.
I have to for work.
Yeah, so am I. It is what you were saying about like immediately hooked. You feel like you're in the 80s watching that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they did such like the 80s nostalgia is so hot right now, but so many things are trying to do it, and I feel like Stranger Things was the one that really mastered it. Like Guardians of the Galaxy used those 80s themes too. I mean, it was in space, but it had that same vibe. And like I feel like those are the two. Like Stranger Things was the TV show, Guardians of the Galaxy was the movie that kind of took us back to those feelings.
Right. And the other thing that I consumed this week was Captain Marvel, which we'll get into for our feature presentation. What did you consume this week?
You know, I honestly have been on a boat for the past week. I haven't been watching too much stuff. I watched The Bachelor. I'm not going to lie. I was on in my hotel room. I was out in L.A. doing something with Warner Brothers this week, and The Bachelor came on, and I was like, I don't know how people watch this. The girl was like, I didn't know you were on other dates. I was like, you're on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the show. But I finished The Punisher. I thought that was amazing on Netflix. I finished that recently. I watched Shazam in the past week, which I'm probably the only person who can say, one of the only people who can say that right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm bragging.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing, amazing movie. Like 10 out of 10, loved it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It looks like, you know, the new, more later DC movies, so Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam look like, you know, I loved Aquaman and I loved Wonder Woman, and Shazam looks like it's right in that kind of pocket of a winning streak for DC.
Oh, yeah, it's another huge win. I mean, it's crazy because these 3 movies that you just named are so different from each other.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, you've seen both of those, and you can see how different they are. And Shazam just brings such a different tone to DC, and it's got different tones within itself, but it's just a flawless movie. I mean, I loved it start to finish. I haven't had that much fun watching a movie in years.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's what, April 5th?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get into hot clips. We got some good hot clips this week. Hot clips. Okay, so Marvel's Shang-Chi. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, this is a character that people aren't really familiar with unless they're big Marvel fans. I mean, I had to do a little bit of homework, and I'm still not an expert on Shang-Chi, but they just found their director, so
yeah, which is
exciting.
Yeah, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. They, you know, I'm happy that Marvel's been so big in inclusivity. So they were looking for an Asian director and Asian writer and all that, which I think really does make a difference in the film. The end result being a better film.
Right, I agree. You have to have somebody who understands the culture you're trying to bring to the screen. I mean, you saw it with Black Panther. You had Ryan Coogler up there. And, I mean, he just brought African culture to life in a way that, I mean, somebody else might not have been able to because they might not have understood it the same way that he did. And they had an almost entirely black cast, and it worked. It worked for that reason. So
Exactly.
I think Shang-Chi may try to do for Asian culture in movies what Black Panther did for black culture in movies.
Right. The new Avengers Endgame trailer dropped this morning. I'm sure you saw it.
No, I saw it 30 times already.
So,
pull it up again right now.
So I have a thing that I've been doing lately where I haven't been watching trailers of movies I know I'm going to see because I feel like they give away too much. But Avengers Endgame, I don't have the self-control to not watch it. So I did watch it, and it
it's
didn't
like being
give away.
on a diet and putting a delicious cupcake right in front of your face.
Exactly. And so that's what I did. I indulged in the cupcake, and every bite was amazing. This
But
makes...
it also didn't spoil anything. It doesn't
Exactly.
feel like it ruined anything for you. It's just, it was half of it was old footage.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this trailer was amazing, and it gives you just enough to be like, all right, well, I'm canceling all of my plans. I'm watching this movie all weekend long.
Right. Yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this to come out. I'm dying.
What if the movie sucks. Like, what are we going to do?
I don't know what I would do with my life. You know what I mean?
There's no way. I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Did you see the full Aladdin trailer?
I did see the full Aladdin trailer. I thought that the full trailer was a huge improvement for what we've seen from that movie.
Yes. So when the teaser dropped, I love, pretty much everything Disney does. When the teaser dropped, my childhood was ruined because it was like Will Smith looked like a blue Shrek as the genie. And then I saw this trailer and I was like, wow. I don't know. The CGI, first of all, looks better for Will Smith. And secondly, this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that first trailer, like, I agree with everything you just said. The first trailer was just like, wait, why did you guys do this? And then the second trailer comes along and you're like, wait, this could actually be a lot of fun. And I think they might have actually done something really, really good with it from this second look. Yeah,
I can't not wait for this. And I, like we were just talking about, I couldn't have said that a week ago, so.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into the feature presentation. So here we go. Our feature presentation. I always say I need to find a shorter version of that, and then I never do. So there we go. That took up 17 minutes of this show. But Captain Marvel, I freaking loved it. So first of all, let's start with the review bombing situation.
It's stupid. It's a bunch of bad, insecure. I mean, if you don't want to see the movie, that's one thing. That's fair. You don't have to want to see every movie, but that's not what's happening here. You have people who are taking comments that they didn't like that Brie Larson made, and they're just going on these review sites and saying things about the movie, having not even seen it, and it's just immature, I think. And as a result, websites have entirely taken the review part features, the barometers, I guess, down, and it's not affecting the movie. Obviously, the movie made a ton of money. You need multiple bags to rake all that cash and bring it home to Marvel Studios. So it's just stupid.
It is. It's so dumb. I saw a thread on Reddit today where these conspiracy theorists, whatever weirdos they were posting pictures of empty theaters, and they were like, this was my theater on Friday night, and there's like literally nobody there. And I'm like, first of all, nobody believes that. Second, and I'm talking about like the lobby, the parking lot, like they were saying like nobody was there. Nobody believes that. And secondly, who cares? Because obviously your theater didn't affect it opening with 153 million domestically, $500 million globally. So, you know what I mean? These people are nuts.
It's like people act like they like have stake in the movie or like stake in its failure. It's such a weird thing.
It really is. It really is.
It has nothing to do with it. They have just nothing better to do.
Yeah. So one of the things, I loved Captain Marvel. One of the things that I loved about it was that it didn't have a love story, which I feel like so many movies are like, they wedge in an unnecessary love story. So they hit, make sure females like this too, hit this to make sure men like it. I love that the whole story seemed really natural.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that because I actually, when I was covering this movie, I got to sit down with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and talk to him about the movie.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I was like, I really like how this isn't a love story. We have finally get some women on the big screen, and everybody's very excited about that. But even in Wonder Woman, it becomes a love story.
Yep.
And in Alita, it becomes a love story. And then in this one, it's just her doing this for herself, which was kind of refreshing. I mean, this happens to male characters too. You look at Tony Stark, you look at Thor, Captain America. All three of those characters within their first two movies were caught up in love stories. Ant-Man, not so much, more of a love story with his daughter, which was nice. But Captain Marvel doesn't have any love interest. She loves her best friend, I guess, Maria Rambeau.
Yeah, but, which is so cool.
For herself. Yeah, exactly. Her motive, and Kevin Feige said that was never even a consideration. It was always going to be a story where she's trying to just prove everything to herself, and it never crossed their mind about a love story. They didn't have a conversation, well, we don't want it to be a love story, but they never had a conversation about, should we make it a love story?
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the movie overall?
I liked it a lot, man. it's so tough because I feel like if I don't say like I love this movie, it's my favorite ever, people are like, why did you hate it?
Right.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
And it's like to say, and I don't know if I'd put it in my top 5 Marvel films, but that's because look at the bar that Marvel is setting now.
Absolutely.
Look at all the other movies they've released. That's still a compliment to the movie. I'd say maybe top 10 out of the 21. It's in my top half.
Yeah.
But it's not in my top 5 because, I mean, you have, like, in my top 5, you have Infinity War, Civil War, Iron Man, The First Guardian, Winter Soldier. And, I mean, there's so many amazing films that they've released that I just couldn't put this ahead of. But I liked it a lot. It's just, I liked the second hour a lot better than the first hour. I thought it started off very convoluted. It was just trying to introduce so much, and there were so many questions, and it did so much in the first half. But then once we arrive on Earth, once we meet Maria, and once the relationship starts to kind of pay off and the answers start to come out, we just get the ball rolling and have a full understanding of what's going on. And the twist, I don't want to say anything, everybody hasn't seen it, but there was a couple of really good twists at the end.
Yeah.
I really liked that about it, and it had a lot of heart.
Yeah, they really did. And, you know, you bring up a really good point. So 21 movies in, this has been 10 years of our lives. And the least liked Marvel movie is still worlds above most other people's best movies. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So it is a really high bar that they've set. And I'm in the same boat. I can no longer pick, like, I couldn't rank the 21.
It also just depends what side of the bed I wake up on.
Right.
Because one day I might wake up and Guardians is my favorite movie. The next day Civil War. The next day Winter Soldier. The next day Infinity War. Like, it just depends what kind of mood you're in because they've released so many different types of movies as well.
Yeah.
So, they all have that similar Marvel formula, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, all of the different tones and different heroes and different laughs and different thrills and all that stuff. So, it depends, how I'm feeling that day.
Absolutely. And then sequel potential. So I think this could really go in a few different ways. It would be cool, like, for a sequel, if they don't bring it to present day, like where we are with Infinity or Endgame, but keep it in the 90s. You know what I mean? And kind of fill in the gaps between then and now.
I agree with you, man. That's actually another thing I talked to Feige about. And I asked him, do you think Captain Marvel's future could be in the past? And it's interesting because they want to introduce characters like Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel, the Muslim female hero, who's a really popular character in Marvel Comics right now. But he said two things. He said there's a really rich story you could tell in the past, as you saw with a lot of the seeds being planted for future movies. But also he said that they really want to introduce a character like Kamala, but he sees her as a contemporary story who has to exist in the present day, so he doesn't think she was born in the 90s. So maybe we just take a little bit of time to get there. I mean, if you read Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel comic run, that book kind of takes place both in the present and the past. Time travel becomes a factor, so we could get both in the same movie. But, I mean, it's so hard to predict because they're always surprising us, and without a slate of movies announced, it's so hard to predict. But I would love to see them continue the past. I just don't want all these women, the female heroes, to be trapped in the past because Wonder Woman, World War I, Wonder Woman 2, 1984, Captain Marvel, 1995, Captain Marvel 2, 1996.
Right. So, what do you think? Is Captain Marvel is she going to destroy Thanos?
I honestly don't expect her to play just a gigantic role in Avengers Endgame. I think she'll be there and she'll help them, but I think maybe she plays a similar role to what Black Panther did in Avengers Infinity War. Like, you'll get a better understanding of this character having seen the movie, but also at the same time, if you've not seen Captain Marvel, it's not going to hinder your Endgame experience because it's going to be about the original heroes supplemented by all the new heroes. That's what I think. Right.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I feel like Marvel is smarter than that to just have this. Oh, you know what? We have this hero that can just come and stop him with a quick fight. Like I just feel like they've been smarter than that over the past 10 years, and that's not something they would like cop out to.
Right.
So, what else do you think we can look forward to with Captain Marvel and the Avengers franchise or the Marvel franchise?
Well, there's one story in particular that they seem to have set up here, at least in some way, just by introducing the Skrulls. There's a story called Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Where there are Skrulls hiding out on Earth, and they are posing as Avengers, and they're posing as people in everyday society, and they try to take over the world. So, I mean, it would be really cool to see a Secret Invasion story where we learn that this entire time in the MCU, one of the Avengers was secretly a Skrull. So, I mean, could you imagine if Tony Stark was a Skrull this whole time?
No.
It'd be wild.
Yeah.
So I would love to see a Secret Invasion story. That's what the fans want to see. That's what I want to see. And Feige says that that the Skrulls we saw in Captain Marvel are not all of the Skrulls. There are good Skrulls and there are bad Skrulls. So hopefully we get this Secret Invasion story.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I saw this theory that so on the beach when the Skrulls arrive on the beach in Captain Marvel, they did like a screenshot or whatever, and there was like 4 Skrulls and Samuel L. Jackson, and then only 3 later on or something like that. So they're like, where did this 4th one go? So there's this theory that it's Samuel L. Jackson that is a Skrull, which would be really interesting. And I don't even know how that would play out, but
yeah, that would be wild. I mean, I tried to do the math, and I saw that theory as well. So you had the Phil Coulson spoiler alert. You had the Phil Coulson Skrull. You had the science guy Skrull. You had Talos.
Right.
You had the old lady Skrull. So that I'm not sure if I'm overlapping. I think that's 4. I think it's all 4 different Skrulls, but you never know. I mean, they could have. More of them could have come, and they could just throw that into the movie in the future. Maybe one did get away, or something like that. But they definitely have arrived on Earth, and once they're there, I mean, there's no telling where they went.
Yeah, and the other highlight of Captain Marvel for me was Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, I agree, man. And the de-aging they did on his face was brilliant. And
yeah.
He was just, I felt like he helped the movie kind of have a fun, interesting vibe to it as soon as he arrived. And he's always great. When is Samuel L. Jackson not great? But it was fun to see the kind of history lesson, too, that he brought to the Marvel Cinematic Universe by showing him in 1995.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like he was more of a fun-loving, kind of freewheeling guy in that time period rather than what he was when he began the Avengers Initiative.
Right, exactly. He definitely has become more cynical over the years. So
yeah.
Definitely some things have happened.
Exactly. So it'd be interesting for Marvel Studios to explore that as well. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So, all right, brother. Well, where can we find you?
I am on all social media at Brandon Davis BD. I'd love it if you guys want to just talk about this stuff. I'm there for that. And on comicbook.com, of course, I will be dissecting Captain Marvel, Shazam, the Avengers, everything that us geeks know and love, The Walking Dead, for a few more weeks. And, anybody who wants to talk, hit me up at Brandon Davis BD, please.
Your Shazam surprise, is that going to be, you're going to tell us all about it on Twitter?
Oh, yeah, you'll be able to see that live on Instagram at Comic Book and at Brandon Davis BD. That was going to be fun.
Awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dan. Later.
All right, later. Isn't Brandon Davis amazing? He's such a great guy. I met him at the Philadelphia Wizard World convention a few years ago, and we were both in press for something and became buddies, and he's such a good guy. He is a fountain of knowledge of comic books and comic book movies, and he's just awesome. So, and as he said, you can follow him pretty much everywhere at Brandon Davis BD. And thank you all. We are growing every single week. I can't thank you enough for everything that you're doing. You're sharing the episodes with your family and friends and social media. You are reviewing us on Apple Podcasts and subscribing, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you. We are now on Spotify too, which is cool. So now we're on Spotify and, of course, iHeart Radio and Apple Podcasts and Overcast and everywhere else. So wherever you are, we are. So thank you for your support, and I will see you next week.
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
That's the end.